What's up, fam? So it's been a while, and yeah, I've wanted to jump on here for a long time and just do a good old-fashioned raw vlog because there's so much to catch up on, so much to share. And like as I always say, recording these videos for me is like journaling. And sometimes I choose to post it, sometimes I don't, but I reckon I'll post this one. Yeah, because I've tried journaling and everything for a long time, and I don't know, I just don't like sitting there and writing things down. That's just not for me. But I find that I can kind of articulate and speak and verbalize and get things out of my head, and just move things out when I'm speaking to a camera. And I find it actually better than speaking to people sometimes, because it's almost like speaking to myself. If you've heard of this thing called a dyad, my friend Nikolai showed me what a dyad was, and that's actually when you sit opposite someone for, let's just say, 15 minutes, and then they say, Toby, tell me who you are. And then literally you have 15 minutes you will just say things. So this is like pretty much like a dyad. And the person that is holding space for you, they don't speak, they don't do anything, they just watch you. So they'll just sit there and watch and receive. They're not going to react, they're going to speak. And at the end of the exercise, you switch. And so yeah, that's kind of like what this is for me. Man, so yeah, just in life, so much changing. In about a month, I'm going to be heading to Bali, actually. The tickets are already booked and everything's set. So we'll be heading to Bali July 26th. I'm going to be going by myself. And then the loose plan is going to be to meet up with Daniel Leox. That's the guy that created Zen Cleanse. And then kind of just learn a bit, work with it, see what flows out of that. That's in Ubud. And but what I actually really want to talk about, which is actually quite interesting, because a lot of people have asked me, hey Toby, rewind. They've said like, hey Toby, what has your experience like? Tell me about your experience with the guru. And so this happened about 1.5 months ago. So I'll start from the beginning. And my friend Lou, she was seeing this guru, and she told me about him. She's like, there's this guru who reckons he's enlightened, and I've been seeing him for a bit. And he was telling, at the time I was just not interested at all, so I just didn't do anything. And then, yeah, 1.5 months ago, I remember just kind of sitting there at the beach, and I was like thinking, man, I'm a bit stagnant and stuck in life, and I've just been noticing myself, as usual, kind of falling into the vortex of the loop, kind of doing the same thing like over and over again, having the same repeating thoughts, and just getting caught up in that like karmic cycle, the cycle again. And it's real dense. I was like, man, I need to get out of it. And then so I remembered Lou told me about this, so I called the cafe and I was like, here, there's a guru here, can I meet him? And then they didn't really get back to me. They were like, oh yeah, we'll talk about it. And so I messaged him again and I said, man, I really want to meet this guy. I'm going to come on Saturday to the cafe and do it. So I went and I spoke to, I'll try not to use names actually, just in case, because Adelaide's a small place. Yeah, I spoke to the top like student. He's the oldest student. And then she was like, yeah, he's good to go. He's a legit seeker. So then I got in the room with the guru and started like talking to him. And the whole experience lasted for about 3 and a bit weeks. And in that, like, I really threw myself into it like I do with everything. I was like, man, I don't want to anything I do, I don't want to be like kind of half-heartedly doing it. It's like, I'm either going to do it all or I'm not at all. So I was seeing him almost every single day, and I actually moved my van into their backyard, and I was staying there for a while. And yeah, just seeing what this is all about, learning as much as I can. And I had the full intention of going like all the way with it if it felt right. And like at the start, it was like, well, this is like a lot, very, very fast. It was pretty much, I'm not going to talk heaps about it in this video because there's a lot to talk about, but it was pretty much like, to follow this path, you need to, or you should, stop anything that is keeping you stuck in the cycle. So that means not seeing your family as much, not doing the things you used to do, moving in with us, so moving my van there, not seeing your girlfriend, not doing anything that's going to keep you stuck in there. So it's pretty much like you need to let go of everything that was making you you, and everything that was building up your personality. All those things, you have to let that go, and you got to like go zoop, like kind of get sucked through the wormhole and be like, yeah, this is pretty much what it was. Like, you got to be fully devoted to this cause and this process. And so like I was really struggled with that, because in my mind I was freaking out. I'm like, far out, man, is this some kind of like cult or something? Because it happened really fast. And I was like freaking out, thinking like this is some kind of cult. But I was like, no, these people seem like really nice and switched on, and he is saying some good stuff, like some valuable stuff. But at the same time, I was probably like it wasn't like a strong fuck yes. It was more like, this could be a way, but I still like, I don't know, there's this part of me just feels like something is just not like, yes, this part of me inside just felt something is not right for me anyway. And I'll speak, yeah, it just felt like it was too forced and a bit too like aggressive. And then the things he was saying, as I said, he said some great things, and I got some awesome insights, and like, I'm actually really grateful for it. And this is what I actually went there to tell him in person when I decided to leave, because I was like, no, this path is not for me. I gave it a shot, but it's just not for me at this time in life. And it's because I wanted to go there and tell him like all these things, because I was like, oh, look, you've spent a lot of time with me, and like I appreciate it, but there is like these things that I wanted to point out, and I owe it to you to tell you in person, not just like call you over the phone or text you. So I actually went there, and unfortunately, yeah, he didn't see me. So in the end, I had to do it over the phone anyway, because I think he could sense, because I messaged him, hey bro, we gotta talk. Basically, like, what didn't resonate with me was there was a lot of fear, and it was saying like everyone is stupid, everyone is lost, no one is happy, people are idiots, people are doing fake spiritual practices, everyone's doing fake breath work, fake yoga, no one has any self-discipline, no one can even sit with themselves, because everyone's just lost in their mind, and they're messing up themselves, they're messing up everyone else's lives, and they're just passing on bad information, regurgitating things they've heard on YouTube, regurgitating things they've heard from people that are stupid as well. And it's pretty much like, everyone's stupid, everyone's lost. This is why you need a guru like me to lead the way for you. And I remember listening to that, and like, there is like a lot of truth in that as well. But then just the way it was said is like, everyone's stupid apart from me and my guru. And so like that was quite a red flag early on in the process. And then just another one, like, he would get really angry, and like it seemed like he couldn't really control his emotions, especially when people questioned him. It was like, at the start, he's like, I want you to watch me, I want you to question me, and if it doesn't add up, I want you to tell me. So I did. Like, I was always paying a lot of attention and watching. And I said to him, man, I was questioning things, and then every time I questioned something, like, what about this? He'd be like, you came to me, I'm the guru, you're just some stupid guy that's lost, that came begging for my help. How dare you question me? And I was like, man, you asked me to question you. Why are you getting so upset? And then he said, man, I'm not getting upset. This is a way for me to shock you out of your mind. But like shouting and getting all upset. And I was like, all right, man, whatever. Then just after talking to a few people, I actually realized that he was saying things that were actually, it was like a script. And it felt like he would say the same things to everyone. It's like, you can't even breathe properly. Your posture's not even good. You can't even stand properly. Your feet aren't even pointing in the same direction. You don't even know this. You're not even ready for any of this stuff. And I heard that he would just say this to everyone, pretty much like saying, like tearing you down, saying like, you're not good enough. You don't know anything, which it is true. Like that was the truth. I didn't know anything, but it was just like the way it was done. It was saying, you don't know anything. You're useless. If you don't have a guy like me, you're just going to keep going around in circles in your karma cycle, and you're going to keep suffering. And everyone else around you that's teaching any other way is also fucked up and is also fake. So therefore you only need me and my students, and my way is the right way. And I just felt like, wow, this is like super intense and isolating. And maybe it's a path for some people, but at the moment, like, I'm like, man, I want to figure it out for myself. Like, I do suffer sometimes, but like, I'm out here experimenting. Like, I want to learn. I want to like experience and be involved in life, and not just kind of following someone else's vision. And like, at the end of the day, it felt a little bit like a pyramid scheme, where there was like one guy at the top that's like, I'm the guru, and then everyone else is kind of like underneath him, and he like tells everyone what to do. And it was just a bit of a, yeah, like, as I said, like, it wasn't fully resonating with me. So I've left that. And there's so much more I could go into. But like, I think the last straw was I brought Ina down to the cafe to like just meet them. I told him Ina's not spiritual. She doesn't care about any of this stuff. She just wants to see the cafe, because Ina wants to own a cafe, and that's her dream. And then, so it was all good. And then, oh yeah, one other thing, he talks like a lot, like way too much, like literally probably 95% of the time he's talking. And then the other 5% of the time, someone else is like, he gives someone else a chance to talk, but doesn't really listen, kind of like interrupts and cuts him off like all the time. And I'm like, that's not really like, I don't know, that's not really legit if someone's like talking so much. Like, it's like an onslaught of words. And then sometimes I would leave and my head was like, oh man, it's just like so much information, just information overload. But as I said, like, there was like good stuff sprinkled in, and like a lot of truth. That's what kept me there. Otherwise I would have left straight away from the start. But yeah, anyway, I brought Ina into the cafe, and they were like showing her around and talking, and then we all kind of sat down, and it was like a nice, like, lighthearted, chilled conversation with the guru, just talking like pretty much the entire time. And then me and Ina like, okay, food's good and everything. And then it kind of gets to a point where he gets on that tangent again, where he's saying, look around you, like, everyone's stupid, everyone's idiot, and that whole kind of thing. And then I remember Ina said, well, what happens if, like, how do you know that they're stupid? How do you know they're lost? Like, what happens if this is just part of their life? And then I could see, I was watching him, he got really upset, and he's like started kind of foaming at the mouth, and like, actually, I don't reckon it was an act. I legit reckon he was actually upset that Ina questioned him, and probably got triggered. And then he was like saying, how can you're speculating, how can you question me? Look at you, look how you're sitting, your posture's shit. You're gonna be serving people coffee's a poison. Look at you, how can you question me? Like, and all this stuff. And then Ina was like, dude, I'm not here for any of this stuff. I'm literally just here to see the cafe. And then he kind of like chilled. I was like, oh yeah, I'm just try to play it off like it was a joke. Like, I'm just a intense guy. And then we left, and I spent the weekend with mum and dad at Glenelg, kind of just like thinking about the situation, because I was in really deep. Like, the whole plan was to go to Queensland with them, go to India, teach the real yoga, and like go deep into like Ayurveda and all this stuff, which I actually like to do. But then, like, I don't really want to be doing that when there's like a boss telling me what to do. I want to fucking be my own boss and learn for myself. And so yeah, that's when I made the decision to leave it. And yeah, we'll leave that story there. But then, like, yeah, pretty much once the experience ended, I was like, okay, so this is literally just like shaking up my life. It is true that, who am I? I'm Toby Yo, but fucking hell, man, like, I'm just repeating past programs. I actually don't know what I'm doing in life. How could I be teaching breathwork when like I don't even know it? How could I be teaching anything? So I did actually cancel everything, and like everything that I was teaching, the ceremonies, the one-on-ones, the breathwork. I was like, look, I got to take a step back from all of this and figure some shit out for myself, because I don't want to be just another cause of the problem of someone that doesn't know what they're doing and just, yeah, regurgitating and repeating shit for the sake of looking important or making money or just something like that, man. Like, it's, yeah, you get me. Yeah, so at the moment in life, like, I'm literally doing my best. I've stopped listening, like, I'm doing my best to stop listening to podcasts, stop watching like just YouTube videos, stop listening to other people, and I'm just trying to stop like the onslaught of information and noise and knowledge going in from my eyes, ears, and yeah, like, I want to be my own, essentially I want to be my own guru and find my own path. And I think that actually starts with unlearning and deprogramming and like listening to like the voice within if I can, like, but that doesn't really speak when there's a billion other voices going on. So it's about like separating myself and cutting it out, and that's just learning from life experiences. Because with the phone and the YouTube and everything and computers, you can just get in so much information, and it was great to learn stuff. I'm not going to regret that. I don't actually regret anything at all because I value all these experiences. But at the end of the day, like there comes a point when you become saturated with noise in here that anything more that you listen to is just going to create more turbulence and like uncertainty inside the mind. So I'm spending a lot of time alone. I'm just stopping doing a lot of things that I used to do because I'm like, well, why am I doing this? Oh, because this guy told me, because Wim Hof said breathing's good, and I'm like, man, okay, that may have worked for them, but if I'm doing it and I'm not having like some experience that I actually feel like it's working for me, why am I still doing this stuff every single day like it's a religion? And my whole life was just filled up to the brim of doing things that other people who are experts have said, you must do this every day. You have to have a cold shower every single day. Start your day with lemon juice. Have these supplements. And it becomes like, fuck, I'm not even living my own life anymore. So yeah, literally like I'm in the process of like reclaiming my own life by stopping everything else and letting it kind of fall to the side, and then spending a lot of time alone, finding what I like to do again. And I'm still literally, I say this is level 1, like finding actually what I want to do in life again. So that's why I said I booked the ticket to Bali, because I do want to go to Bali and enjoy the sunshine. That's what I know I love. And just learn a bit there, spend time alone, be out in beautiful nature. While I'm in Adelaide, just going out to the forest, spending time, just cleaning the house and making the space nice, like decluttering. I've started getting back into basketball again. But unfortunately, I'll start wrapping up the video soon. My shoulder, I've had shoulder pains like at the front here, and especially when I raise it above my arm, I can feel like impingement, which I think it's become like shoulder tendonitis, and that's been going on for over 6 months. So I've actually stopped lifting weights and training, and this has been very difficult because for the last like 11 to 12 years, like since I was 15, I've been training, lifting weights almost every single day in the gym to failure, and like bodybuilding and fitness and health was always like my thing. And now I'm having to take a step back from it, taking a step back from literally all these things that were like defining me as Toby Yo, the personality. And yeah, just literally coming back to the basics and saying, what do I need to do right now in life? Because things are constantly just changing, like things are always changing. And something that may have served me once, like lifting weights and bodybuilding and all that stuff, if it's not serving me now because it's causing me injuries, I'm not really enjoying being inside the gym environment, why am I still hanging on to it and doing it? Like I need to let that go, because that was a huge part of every single day. Like training and health and everything was literally taking up like a lot of my energy, because that's why I was like, this is what I do. Every day was like that. And so now you take up this big block of thing at the start, it's like now there's this whole void and this hole here where I don't know what to do. But then it's in that void and stillness where I'm like, I can just kind of sit and slow down and be like, well, now you have 5 extra hours and a lot more energy every day. What do you want to do with your time? And it's a challenge to not fall into, I want to watch YouTube videos, I want to feel this, because it's so uncomfortable to have this space that it's like I want to fill it with stuff and knowledge. But yeah, so it's kind of going into that like slowly, and of course, like if I mess up, which I do, it's fine. So that's where I'm at. I just wanted to share that. Much love and peace out.